All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Tuesday, Tasty Tunage Tuesday, and I know some of you are excited about today. Even though you don't know yet the topic, you are going to be excited. There are some fans out there of this music that have been asking for this day, and it has arrived. We are going back 50 years, a 50-year anniversary of a very important record from this band, and that band is Yes, and the name of the album is the Yes album, released on February 19th, 1971. All right, who are Yes? First of all kinds of members flowing in and out of this band, but when you talk about Yes, you have to think about founding members John Anderson, of course, and Chris Squire. Those are the two main people that you're gonna think about when you think about Yes. This is the first album to feature guitarist Steve Howe, and the last one with keyboardist Tony Kaye until he returns for that epic album, one of my all-time favorite records, 90125. But I get ahead of myself. All right, Yes, a UK band formed in '68. They were a cover band, put out a couple of records, and they were on the verge of being released from their Atlantic label until this record came out. Now, they are, of course, considered one of the best progressive rock bands ever. How many people know what prog rock actually is? If you Google it, you're going to get yourself down a rabbit hole because it's a little hard to describe, but you're going to see bands. First of all, you're going to see bands you never heard of. I've never heard of before, at least. So there are prog rock fans out there, and you're going to know more than I do, and so feel free to chime in. But you come across bands with names like Camel, Gong, Magma. I mean, these are the kinds of things that you're coming up with when you do prog rock. Progressive rock was basically psychedelic 60s bands that kind of rejected pop music and started introducing other elements to their music, like classical, jazz, folk, into their music. And so that's that kind of music. So what, you also have Argents on this list. Tangerine Dream. That Tangerine Dream, very different type of music than rock and roll, right? But who are the bands that you know that are considered progressive rock? Moody Blues, Yes, Rush, Peter Gabriel's on the list, early Genesis is on the list, Kansas is on the list, Traffic, Jethro Tull, they're on the list. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, anything to do with any of those guys because of all the offshoots. Emerson, Lake, and Powell. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So that's the kind of music we're talking about when we talk about progressive rock. This album moves the needle in that direction and is considered really one of the best, if not the best, progressive rock album of all time. It tops some lists. It's in the top 5 in other lists, top 10, but it's always mentioned in the top when you talk about that. This album was a critical success. It was their commercial breakthrough, and it pretty much changed everything for them. Track listing on this record: Yours Is No Disgrace, great track. Clap, instrumental track. Starship Trooper, I've Seen All Good People, A Venture, and Perpetual Change. Doesn't sound like a lot of songs, right? But as it is with this progressive rock and Yes, so the songs get broken up into multiple separate vignettes of music. So what are we doing for Song of the Day today? It has to be I've Seen All Good People, right? And that itself has multiple spliced together stories within it. It's basically using the game of chess. The lyrics are using the game of chess as a metaphor for relationships, is what they say. But there's like Portuguese guitar in here. There's all kinds of elements that they hadn't been working with before. This is the first album that was entirely written by the band. There are no covers on this record. the heavy lifting work done by the two main guys, John Anderson and Chris Squire. John Anderson, speaking of him, what a unique voice, one of the best voices in rock and roll. I mean, I think it's one of the most unique and best voices. I mean, you gotta love his voice. So I'm guessing if you're not a fan of Yes, you just don't like his voice, but I loved his voice and I love their music. Heck, I even liked John Anderson and Vangelis when they did an album, and they have that song Friends of Mr. Cairo, which I'll have to bring up one of these days. Sean Murphy, you know what I'm talking about. But I know we got plenty of prog rock fans out there, and I know Mike Murray, you're up there, and Frank Sassano, you guys are going to be happy today. So I want to hear from you guys about progressive rock and what it meant to you. Especially, I'm a little young to have been influenced by progressive rock, because I just wasn't quite there yet. So, but if you're like 3 or 4 years older than me, then that's your sweet spot. All right, Yes, the Yes album turning 50. Let me hear your comments about it. I've seen All Good People, song of the day. Listen to it today. Listen to that whole album. You're going to enjoy it. Looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wanderlust Wednesday, and we're bringing a different band in of a different kind of music we haven't even covered before on Wanderlust Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to it and the rest of the week. We are all set. Have a great day, and as usual, catch you on the flip side.